Hello everyone, and welcome to the Captain's Academy, where today you will learn to best utilize and configure your newly acquired Sarissa starter small vessel. The Phoenix Starworks Sarissa is an early start SV designed around modability, allowing a flexible range of function from medium fighter to long-range interceptor, or even a small bulk miner, depending on your configuration. The Sarissa comes with two different color configurations. As stock, it comes with purple and charcoal, which is the Phoenix Starworks Coloration, with a secondary option being crimson and charcoal. Now, in order to change the coloration, first of all, what you want to do is access the compartment, and we have everything set up here for both of the colorations, as well as all the information that will be covered in this tutorial. So what you want to do to change the color is go to the right side option here, highlight, Control C. Now that we have all the data copied, we're ready to pull out our texture tool. Right click once aimed at the vessel, and then hit configure. So then we'll go to the top left here and left click. Now you want to hold shift while clicking on the bottom right corner with left click. Now all you simply need to do is paste. Hit OK. Congratulations, you've just changed your color. So if you find yourself in a situation where you lost the color, or you would like to reacquire the original one, you can stop by the workshop and I'll have it posted there. So with the modability options of the Sarissa, you have quite an extensive range, and so let's go over that. First, we'll start off with CPU and how to place that. The CPU alignment is rated up to a Core 9 for Reforged Eden, or of course a Core 8 for vanilla players. So first of all, what you want to do is place your small one there, your tier 2. After that, you want to stand up the other ones along the perimeter. Now you have a Core 5. So you also will have spacing for a shield as well as a warp drive simultaneously. So we'll go ahead and slot that in now. Once you remove the LCDs, of course. And there you go. So you have full 9-core access, shield, and a warp drive. Alternatively, you could opt to stay short range, remove the warp drive, and if you're Reforged Eden, you could fill up this whole area with shields. I think I did forget a CPU here. Oh, I guess I did. Okay, so, that's Pentax effect. Now you're good to go. Okay, so you could opt to go for shields if you want some more staying power rather than being a warp-capable vessel. So that's an option. Alternatively, you could go for a cargo run, cargo load, if you would prefer. Perhaps in a minor configuration, or just to haul more loot from POIs. So rather than having so much CPU, could download some of this space and just load up CPU to until you meet your needs. And everything else you can load out with cargo. So an optimal configuration with that would be with this miner I have set up here. He's looking at 7,400 harvest, which isn't the biggest, but you know, for a starter SV that has a lot of options, it's not too bad. Ideally, this is also an optimal configuration for drills. You want to have them close to the perimeter to, as you're mining, you don't want to be clipping the mine holes, so this will help to offset that so you're not clipping. Now, if you opt to do additional reinforcement of protection by placing turrets here, then that's going to work against that, but you know, that's going to be your choice. So speaking of which, that is a turret placement. Keeping in mind that as you do place these, it's going to weigh down your vessel, so if you're looking for a little more agility, you would probably opt to not add these, but if you're going for an attack roll, or if you just want, you know, a little more drone defense for space mining, then that would be a good option. You also do have another position here open up for either a additional turret, or you could go for radar for Reforged. So pretty slick attack profile there. Now, in regards to your thrusters, so let's have a look at some of your ideal placement here. So the double lines are indicative of strafing thrust. So when you're forward here, your options are here. You could go here, but the yellow is an indicator that if you do go there, as you are entering the vehicle from the cockpit, you will experience some burn if you're not careful. So that's one strafing position here. Around the turret area, your option is going to be at this bit right here. Just make sure not to go past that because that's a thruster there. So there's a placement. If you want to replace your stock, there you go. So rear thrust is going to be, obviously you want to replace your stocks first of all. Okay, that's that. You do have additional placement for hard points, whether it be thrusters or weaponry, along the lines here. So what you could opt to do is go ahead and remove these blocks up until you get to this. Once you see this, if you remove past that, you're going to be stacking on top of either generators or fuel. So if you want to stay away from that, then you know that's going to be your break. Now, same thing down here. Although if you do opt to go for weapons, just keep in mind that this line is going to be blocked by this. So if you want to have a weapon hardpoint here as opposed to a thruster, then these strakes, these thin blocks are going to have to be removed in order to open up that firing lane. So if you were to do like that, rather than making that a thruster position, you're going to have to delete these guys here to open that up. Now, of course, if you know you like to preserve that profile, there's plenty of other mounting positions, and you could just opt to use that as a thruster. So the other mounting points are going to be here along the innards of the wings. So something like that. Although where you can, I would suggest to put your weaponry towards the inside of the profile, so this way it enhances performance. And same thing with your thrusters. If you move them on the outside, that's also going to enhance your performance as well. So your forward mounts for weaponry are going to be here. Okay. Same thing on the opposite side. Your vertical thrust, lift thrust, that is going to be, you have your option right here if you want to go this route. And take off those thin blocks, and there you go. And then obviously, of course, you know, you want to upgrade your stock thrusters, so, and this thin block here will need to be removed. So there we go. Now you do have additional lanes to use if you're not satiated by that. You can, you know, of course, go here. You also do have these lines here. Again, push back until you get to the yellow caution. That's going to be your brake. And if you're just absolutely crazy for more thrust, you got plenty there. Same thing for the bottom. Should probably not want to do that. So, something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous, but if you want it, it's there. So one of the things dealing concerning the inside, the internal compartment, is the armor layout is steel. Okay, all of this is steel. It's a steel perimeter. However, there are link ends with the thrusters. So what you want to do, if you want to protect the interior from chain reactions, you could opt to trade some of this internal space for mitigation against that. So you would simply just cover up the thruster blocks with, you know, steel or whatever your choice is. It could be hardened or whatever, and then that would take care of that. So whatever you have left is going to be your space, which should be sufficient for a shield, a number of CPU. Now, if you look to subtract blocks, I'd suggest not to. These steel blocks here are in place to mitigate against generator explosions, and this particular one here is to stop a chain reaction from an ammunition exploding and destroying the core. So those are recommended not to. So for some function, one of your options could be, if you want to add a mobile constructor, rather than using weaponry for this slot here, you could, you know, dig this out and drop your constructor there. If you would prefer to operate with a trauma station, one suggested placement is in the rear of the vehicle. You would have to cannibalize the industrial box, but once you do, you should have access to place this here. So something like that. Now this will give you a good blocking profile, and your turrets will have optimal coverage. If for some reason you need to face the front of the ship towards the enemy, you will be protected as you're tapping off on the trauma station, and you will have optimal coverage with your turrets. So the gen placement is located underneath the vessel. There are two housings. They are 3x1, so that will take a number of configurations, whether it is one 1x2 and one 1x1, or for Reforged Eden players, you could go for advanced small generator. On the opposite side, there is an open housing to place a similar layout, or if you wanted to extend the fuel range, you could add additional fuel tanks there. An additional mounting point if you want to add additional weapons or perhaps another drill, would be on the symmetrical opposite of the spotlight. So over here, and that would be your breakpoint there. So that would open up an additional weapon mount. Okay, everyone, this concludes this session of Captain's Academy. If you'd like to stay informed about this build and many others to come, please make sure to subscribe and also like, as this helps the channel grow. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider joining my Patreon, as your gratitude goes a long way to instilling passion into my endeavors. Link in the pinned comment below. Thank you. LyfeForce out.